Hey guys, welcome to the Preppin' Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim. I'm so glad you're here. I hope God's truly blessed you. Hey, it's wise to know your enemy before you get into battle. And that's why I think we need to look at the different scenarios of the big things that could hit us so that we could be as prepared as possible when they come. So stay tuned. As I said, this is the Preppin' Preacher channel. I'm Brother Tim. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope God's truly blessed you. If it's your first time with us, do me a favor. Don't hit that subscribe button yet. I want you to understand what we stand for on this channel. First off, we are pro-God. That means that we stand on the rock. His name is Jesus Christ, and we'll invoke his name. Matter of fact, you'll even see some sermons up here on this channel. Hence the Preppin' Preacher channel, all right? And we're also pro-family. And along with that goes pro-life. That means we do not support the murdering of innocent babies. It is an offense against the holy God. We are also pro-Second Amendment. And let me break that down for you. All right, that means we support the right for American citizens to own and bear firearms. Okay, and then we're also pro-military and pro-police. Let me break that down for you. Now, a lot of people go, well, they're gonna do this. They're gonna take your guns. They're all these cops are bad. Well, you know, you're using a broad brush there, and you can't really do that because I'm telling you that there are some great men and women that are standing in the gap that afford you the liberties and the freedoms that you have, so you ought to thank them next time you see them. Again, and I know that probably 99.99% will not do that because that would be an unlawful order and be against our Constitution. So now, if those things, if you agree with those and you are though pro and what I call pro-American, well, then stick around, okay? Stick around and we'll have some good conversations. But if these offend you and you want to lash out on your keyboard there, little commando, and tell me how wrong I am or tell me what's wrong with any of the pros I talked about, well, Skippy, hit the road, all right? Don't need you here. Don't need you poisoning the well, so to speak. We got some good people here, and trust me, you will be gone if you come in with some vile stuff. Now, we'll debate all day long, but when it gets personal, you're gone, Skippy. So, all right, now let's talk about the video here. We've got to do threat assessment, okay? We've got to know what enemy we're looking at, and I thought of a few scenarios that could come down the pike. Now, one of them being social unrest. Now, we're waiting today, as this is being filmed, we're waiting for the Rittenhouse verdict to come in, and they're saying that it could be burning down the cities. Now, the last I saw, there was about 12 people outside protesting, but they could change. But we've seen civil disobedience or unrest, whatever you want to call it, rioting, anarchy in our cities and on the streets. And so that is a viable threat. And so that would be one way, something to prepare for. All right. Now, another one would be a grid down situation. Now, this could come from an EMP. This could come from a hacker. This could just come from our infrastructure falling apart. All right. This is a viable threat that we face, and we have to look at different ways of addressing that and what we would do in case that happened to us. All right. Another one that you could look at would be an invasion. Okay, now we've got Russia going after on the border of Ukraine right now. We've got China talking about going into Taiwan. There's some invasions going on. As a matter of fact, I read an article not too long ago that said that there was only like 26 days since 1945 that there was not any battles going on. And so he told us there'd be wars and rumors of wars. And so an invasion, you know, and I mean, and some of us grew up with old Patrick Swayze, if you remember the movie, there, Red Dawn, where we were invaded. America was invaded in this fiction by Russia, and they included some Latin Americans coming in from the south side while the Russians were coming in out of the north. And China was then, in that movie, was our ally. Now, I think they made a remake of it, and China ended up being the bad guys. But again, an invasion into America, I don't think China has to do that. Okay, because number one, China is beating us without firing around. They're doing it through our supply chain. They're doing it through our money situation. And that falls into another threat that we'd have to look at. But I don't see invasion so much as a threat. But it could be. It possibly could be. But boy, they'd have a fight on their hands, wouldn't they? Now, when I said that it falls into another area, well, that would be what I'd call the economic collapse. We're seeing it already with this hyperinflation. Remember, they said transitory. Well, that's a relative term. They didn't tell us how long it was going to be temporary. Basically, it could be 10, 15 years like we saw in the Great Depression. And they're just throwing good money after bad. This $2 trillion plan, well, that money has to be printed. Now, guys, that is new money is what that boils down to. And they're saying, oh, it won't cost us a dime. Well, you're right, because that dollar ain't even worth a dime anymore. It's maybe worth a penny. They keep printing money. It keeps becoming less valuable. And guys, I'm here to tell you, if we lose the petrodollar, in other words, if oil is not based, the value of oil is not based on the U.S. dollar, well then, yeah, we've lost it in the United States. It will be an economic collapse, and it'll be worldwide. It won't just be here in the United States. I mean, we're seeing the hyperinflation. They're telling us 5-6%. That's a lie. It's 25 at least right now. And they're saying, well, it's all because of the supply chain. Did you see Joe? Joe tried to explain it. He said he knows how the supply chain and what it is and how it works. This is a man who don't even know how to take gas X or Beano, knows how to fix the supply chain. He ain't fixed nothing in his whole life. He's 50 years as a politician and hadn't done a thing for this world. Let's be honest, he has not contributed to society. As a matter of fact, he is a drain on society. And that leads me to the other, which would be another enemy that we have is government tyranny. It's already going on with the mandates and these rules that they're passing that have not been legislated. This is the same thing that went on back when America was first created, that there were laws being passed and taxes being passed where we had no representation. And folks, we don't have representation now. Austria just locked down all their people that had not taken this, all right? That's tyranny is what that boils down to. And it's going to be a class warfare of who's done this and who hadn't done that. That's what they're wanting. They want to separate us. They want to keep us busy being separated so that they can pull the wool over our eyes and get some of this stuff that they want, this Green New Deal and everything that's coming through. Folks, all it is doing is trying to make a globalization of the world, and we're the last bastion of hope here in America because we are a republic and we stand against that and against that one world order. That one world order was tried one time before. As a matter of fact, it was in the Tower of Babel, and it didn't work. God took care of it. See, and so the only thing that's going to ever happen of this one world order is tyranny, but we're seeing it right now in small stages, and this is something that we need to try to prepare for. So these are some of the scenarios, and I'm going to be trying to take one of them at a time to go through for sake of time, and say how we can best prepare for them. The first prep: get right with God. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Time is fleeting. We're told that in God's Word. And if you're not right with Him, well, then you're going to be left. All right? Get right, church, and we'll go home is what I always try to tell them. And see, we don't know the hour of the day when He comes back, but I know this, that we're not getting out of this life alive. Okay? That's 100%. And so it may not be Him coming back. You may be going to meet Him. So get right with God. That's your first prep. Second prep, take care of your family. Provide for your family, okay? Whether that be just you or your wife, your kids, your parents, whoever it may be, your family. It can be your church family, okay? But take care of your family. Anybody that does not take care of his household is an infidel. And there's no worse place that you could ever be. So take care of the family. When I say that, that means having a roof over their heads, having food in their belly, putting clothing on them, and protecting them. I mean, it's the whole gambit there. Take care of your family, man. Men, it's time to start being men. All right. Matter of fact, it's time for all of us to be the men and women of God that He's called us to be. So that's the first prep. But I'm going to take each of these scenarios separately and we'll take a look and see how we can best be prepared for them. So guys, again, I love you, and until I see you again, I pray that God may richly bless you, and you'll continue to stand in that gap. This is the Prepping Preacher, guys. I'm out of here.